You,
Good. Nice to see you.
you look, it's new. I have a fire.
Oh, I
I
thought it was
know.
just a AI like background you had put yourself in there.
Real background.
An AI secret background. How's it been? How have you been
Good. This year, very good.
this year?
This
It's
year,
only February
this
and
year.
already it's so
Oh,
good.
I know. Well, this was the end of last year, and then I've also got a new door,
Let me see your
which
door.
leads to a new room.
Did you get a new room?
Yeah, I divided my bedroom. My bedroom was massive, so I've divided it to create an actual office and spare bedroom.
That's very clever. That's really good that you've separated that as well because I have kind of made an office at my house. See, working in a space that's not work, it never
Yeah.
ends.
Well, yeah, I mean, it used to be in my living room here. I had my desk there
Yes.
because I
And now,
refused to have it in my bedroom. But now that's gone. It's good.
good. And then what other things have been happening with work?
Bank of England.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy with that? That's a good
That's
gig.
a very good gig. Speaking to the military about taking voice vibration sound healing into the military.
That's quite serious. Isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Well
it's good.
done, man. You've been pushing on, haven't you?
Keeping constant.
It's
That's the
hard
thing.
work.
It is hard work. Last year was tough, man.
Did you
But
take time for yourself? Did anything else suffer, Judith? Just wondering, coming from me as another business person,
yeah,
did anything suffer as you put your business to the front, pushing it forward? Did anything, Judith
nothing.
life, suffer?
No, because I don't have much of another. I don't have a
This
partner
is,
or any of
but
that.
that's the trade up, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I would like one, and I'm open to one, but again,
It's time,
you know,
man.
it's time. And the only if you're going to do internet dating, the only way to do it is the numbers game and going on 3 dates a week. And
It is a numbers game. My friend, he's doing it the now, and it's a numbers game.
yeah, yeah. That's how my friend met his gorgeous, lovely, wonderful boyfriend. But he literally had to go on 2 or 3 dates a week, and that's time and money, and
Uh huh.
I'm on the internet that I don't want to be spending like. Nah, nah, nah.
I get it because we are from generation of you don't meet anybody from the internet and there's weirdos on the internet. So now it's like all of a sudden you have to now meet people on the internet. I think it's quite
Not
a
even that. I think
shift.
I've done it. I've done it a lot, but I just meet the same people who aren't actually ready for a relationship on the internet as I do in real life, and I'm like, what's the point
Why
in
are
that?
you here? Why are you swiping fucking right or left or whatever it is?
So
But
yeah,
apart from that,
no, nothing has suffered, which is good. And I turned 50, which was good.
how's your hormones?
Fine. Yeah, I
What?
mean,
You're a
yeah,
fucking unicorn. Never
yeah.
asked a bird in my life how their hormones were and they said fine. Oh well, I don't really know what to say. I'll need to leave now. See you later. Don't know what to do now. Fine.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Well done. Just neither up nor down. Just
No, I mean, the last year and a half, I've had a bit of brain fog, which is really annoying when you're a words person.
yes, this is
Your
true.
words go. What did I have the other week? Well, I had a bit of itchy skin, but I don't know if that's the new soap. I mean, it's soap I've used before,
It could
and
be a wee bit of estrogen
but then I was
because
like, oh, that can also be a perimenopausal thing. No, I mean, yeah,
fucking well done then, mate.
I
So
made a decision. I can't remember when it was. It was definitely pre-COVID. So let's say 4 or 5 years ago, a friend and I were out for a walk. It might be coming towards my 45th, so it must be about 5 years ago. We're out for a walk and we were talking about menopausal stuff. And, so many of my friends, all with everything, even in the early 40s, going through this, that, and the other. And I was like, no, you know what? I've made a choice. I'm going to float through menopause. My body may have other ideas, but I'm making a choice. I'm going to
okay.
through
And
menopause.
you did answer fine, which is honestly I'm blown away by that answer. So there could
Well,
be
I'm
something
still,
in the chakras.
you never know. Periods are still regular and all the rest of it. So there's still time for it to go wonky. But
Nah, man. I think
for
the
now,
honest. Now we're right. So tonight, masterclass by you, the best in this kind of space, I think, with the chakras, spiritual stuff. Anytime I talk to you, I feel like I've connected to that spiritual side of me, and then it goes away, and then when we talk again, it comes back. And that's why I need you
Happen.
back on tonight, because it's not there the now.
Yeah, it happens. Right. And
Does
that's,
it?
yeah, of course it happens because we get bogged down in our human life, right? And our spiritual connection until it's something that is integral. And even for me, there are times I'm like, oh, yeah, wait a minute. Okay, take a moment. Spiritual self. Oh, there it is. What's the energy I need to be in? And it takes time for that to become regular. And our human life is full of urgent things, is full of
Yeah.
stuff.
Shit.
So it's about making it a practice. Why people talk about a practice, right? A spiritual practice, whatever shape or form that takes, whether that is a religious practice and you go to church or temple or mosque or whatever the other spaces are called, or whether that spiritual practice is 2 minutes a day, taking a moment just to breathe and recalibrate and connect to the higher version of yourself, which is, I believe, that is what spirit is. Spiritual is just the practice that you have, the tools and techniques that work for you
Good.
to
Because
connect.
that's where I've been going wrong. I thought you kind of just did the spiritual work, arrived at being spiritual, and then just kind of left it. But I'm
No,
now not spiritual. Like, I feel like very disconnected. That is because I really like talking to you, because I feel like you then reconnect me with that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. That's one of my jobs in this world, on like at this time on this planet, is to help people connect, like to connect the human physical to the energetic spiritual, like, and to be a really practical bridge. It's all right. You don't have to wander around going, oh, look at me, I'm connected and pure and spiritual, and everything is easy and everything is bliss. And oh, aren't I perfect? And oh, aren't I superior to you because I'm so spiritual? And here's my
Yeah.
secret. That's just bollocks, right? So
Yeah.
you can be spiritual and
Kids.
free. You can be spiritual and a meat eater. You can be spiritual and like Metallica and Formula One, because I am all
Do
of those
you?
things. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that. See? Told you. Somebody be getting a neck injury at some point tonight. Told you.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad that we're on to do this, because I think the girls in the membership are quite up and down with themselves. That's a lot of the chat I get. Very hard on themselves. And I think they actually need something like this, like a spiritual practice, to sort of bring themselves back to centre. And I know that you're the best teacher for this. If MD's on, they can give us a little hello in the chat box, or any questions for Judith, you can just ask them and then we'll get them at some point. We'll get them at some point. But most people will watch this and record, so probably end up DMing you on Instagram. But you don't mind that, don't you not?
I don't mind that at all. No, DM me on Instagram, LinkedIn, or just send me an email to connect@yourwholevoice.com.
I'll
And
give you all the details
they'll
anyway.
be there. So,
Because you have
yeah.
some courses running anyway, don't you? You still doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I have my online courses, so my self-study courses that people can do at any time to fit into their schedule. And there's a free sample courses, both for the sound healing stuff and the vocal confidence.
Great.
So,
So some people will get stuff from that
so
100% then. Right.
yeah,
Hit me up.
not
Make me spiritual.
make you spiritual.
I'm ready.
Ah, so when we chatted briefly before doing this, it's about self-love, self-connection, and spirituality, right? Let's get this straight. This is my definition of it, but this works for me, practical human level. Spirituality, as I was saying, are the tools and techniques that work for you, that help you connect more, to live this human life closer to the pure essence of the energy that is your true self,
Okay.
all that your soul, your spirit, right? So spirituality, the tools and techniques that work for you, that you can practice to get your human self closer to the energy of the pure essence That is you, your spirit, for want of a better word, your soul, your
Okay.
self.
I like that.
So that's the purity that you were born with. Like we've all seen a newborn baby and just their purity of spirit, like, oh, this, or a newborn puppy if
I
babies
was
aren't.
go- I said puppy.
Yeah. So the purity of that energy. I refer to this as your higher self, i.e., the higher vibration energy of you in all your glorious magnificence, without any of your human shit, without any of your human pain, without any of your human trauma. Right? That is your higher self. We put your higher self energy is the highest vibration possible of you. And that is your spirit, your soul. And that exists, that purity that you were born with and as, plus all the benefits, all the positive things of every single experience you've been through in your human self. So the good stuff and the shit.
Okay.
Your higher self is that pure version of you that is only connected to the benefits of everything you've been through, the things, even your deepest, darkest trials. The Your higher self doesn't hold on to the pain, doesn't hold on to the trauma, doesn't hold on to the memories of the crap. Your higher self only goes, you know what, I went through that, and that experience helped me understand in a different way, helped me understand humanity in a different way, helped me understand life in a different way. And I'm not a believer in spiritual bypassing. So spiritual bypassing is, oh well, it's all, you have to look at it from this view, and ignore the human stuff. I'm not about that. I'm very much, the work I do is, yep, let's acknowledge our gunk, let's acknowledge the shit we have been through, and some people have been through more than others on various levels, but that's also not a competition. But I strongly believe our higher vibrational self does not hold on to the pain. So spirituality is the tools and techniques that work for you, that help you live on this human plane closer to the energy of that completely blissful you, that is you in all your glorious magnificence, without the challenges, the pain, the trials, the patterns that keep dragging you back into the negative, into the fear. Right? And we all have them. I met
Yes.
someone just last night at an event, and she was like so full on and so just like, and I was like, oh, I see why people hate me. I was like that, right? Because it's just, and
Yeah.
I'm naturally big personality. She's clearly a naturally big personality as well. But
Uh-huh.
there was this, people talk about extra, and like, be extra, that's fine. But also have an awareness that sometimes that much of self can be a bit much for other people.
Yes.
When I see that in myself, I know that when I was like that, that very much came from my pain self. That was like just wanting to be a present and asserting my presence and saying, look at me, I exist, rather than my higher self, which now I'm still a big personality, and we all still have work to do on ourselves. I'm still a big personality, but I don't need to be as in your face as I used to be. I don't need to assert myself in like I used
Yes.
to.
That's
And then
interesting, Judith, by the way.
there's the difference of living closer to your higher self. Now, for me, it came out as in asserting myself and being bigger. For some people, it comes out in diminishing themselves and being quieter and hiding. It depends. We all respond differently.
Judith, see how I said to you about how's your hormones, and you were like that, fine, right? I will say this, so all the women that I deal with talk about perimenopause, see if they go into perimenopause with trauma, and we don't know why this happens, but I speak about this every other day. It's like Pandora's box opening, and it's almost like it exasperates all these perimenopause symptoms. So here you are, higher self lady, right? And you're kind of neither up nor down with your hormones. I'm like, that fucking hell, have we just found a fucking link here, Judith?
Well, quite possibly. So the sounding that I know you love,
I love it.
an amazing way of transposing trauma from being held in your cell memory to being released.
Yes.
So this is something, so the sounding process. So for those who don't know, haven't seen me here in the group before, I work with voice vibration, sound, and energy chakra healing. It's a very practical process, and I have a process called the sounding process that I use with people. I've always used it for emotional and mental challenges. And then I noticed with some people it was having physical pain benefits. So they'd use the sounding process and their physical pain would reduce.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've just done a proof of concept study supported by a doctor who I know. She was a client of mine and she had really bad sciatica. And I said, well, you could try sound healing. You could try sounding it out.
Mm-hmm.
The sounding I do is you using your voice. So it's not, I'm not playing gongs or crystal bowls.
Oh.
You are using your sound to give your pain a voice. So whether this is physical, mental, or emotional pain, historical trauma, ancestral trauma,
Yeah.
that from our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, when you give that pain a voice, and I now have data and statistics, but I used it for people with chronic pain. There's one woman who had a pain in her shoulder for 20 years. After 2 sounding sessions, it was gone.
Fuck off. That's crazy.
So when we give our pain a voice, we're no longer holding it in our cell memory, and your vibration, your literally changes. So I'll just invite everyone who's watching either live or watching on replay. So here's an exercise to go. Place a hand on your chest and hum. And then place a hand somewhere else. And just feel where it's vibrating.
I
And
can
change
feel it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can feel it.
And then change the tone. Go higher in tone. My lips start tingling, right? Your lips start vibrating.
Stay so bit like that. Fuck, is the washing machine fucking broke right now?
So your voice is vibration. And when you are sounding, especially through the sounding process, I take you through a visualization process, and then we give your pain, whatever that might be, a voice. And you're literally changing the vibration of your cells.
Well, we've spoke about this before as well on The Body Holds the Score. Like my Chinese doctor's really big on this as well, about your body holding on to emotional pain. It manifests physically. Like they just practice that in Chinese medicine about trying to release it in some way. So you saying that, it actually is logical sense to me, to be fair.
And it's the most incredible way I've come to. Well, I've come to compassion for people who've hurt me in the past. I've released whenever I have like my period pain. I'll sound into my period pain. I use it when I'm doing yoga to help me get into a deeper stretch without pushing, but engaging, because the sound literally changes your vibration, changes your cell vibration. And when you're doing it with intention, so sound and specifically voice, because it's your pain, so you're giving it your voice. There's no right or wrong notes. It's not singing. Sound plus intention equals healing. And that's my equation that I will credit that where credit is due to Jonathan Goldman, who's the creator and president of the Sound Healers Association that I'm a member of. But sound plus intention equals healing. And it's that intention. It's the intention of allowing your pain to have a voice. And this is so beautiful that as I said to you at the very beginning, I'm in discussions with someone now who works in the military with PTSD, and she's come to the conclusion, and she is qualified in NLP and cognitive behavioral therapy and all sorts of talking therapies, that talking therapies do not have complex PTSD.
Wow.
Because the trauma is stuck in the cell memory. So she's gathered some people. One of them is the lovely Caroline Purvey, who works with Release, Recover, Discover, which is a tremoring. You get your body into a tremor response to literally shake.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so powerful. And working with the voice, when you combine the tremoring and the sound.
That.
Yeah. when I'm doing it, but it's
Yeah,
amazing for
waiting for your head to spin round and shit like that. That's that's
yeah.
so good that these are practical tools, because we've also done a masterclass about loss and the women telling us how this will manifest in behaviours and all that, but then didn't really tell us what to sort of do with it, if you know what I mean. Like, so now this is sort of great, as in that you give quite good practical things to do at home on a daily
Yes.
thing, which is what you need.
It is. And this is the part you said, oh, I get a bit spiritual and then I disconnect. We all do, because life happens. And this is why you make it a practice. So whether your practice is once a week, once a day for 2 minutes, again, this is what I love about voice vibration sounding. You can use it as a meditation, but that meditation doesn't have to be half an hour sat cross-legged in lotus position in silence. It can be 2 minutes in the shower humming. It's always better if it's in stillness and you've got your eyes closed because you're blocking off the other stimulation. But you can change your state with your voice vibration in 20 seconds. So if you catch yourself in any kind of heightened emotion, and it's not appropriate for the time to be let out in that way. I'm a big fan of letting your emotions out, by the way. Right.
Just
So
in Aldi, just doing your Aldi shop, and it's like,
yeah, and just like, ah! Right. It might not be appropriate in the middle of Aldi
right.
to growl. So, but what you could do is you want to growl, and you can place your hand on your heart and go, right. So you could do a little grr, an internal growl, or you can place your hand on your heart and go, okay, I want to growl, but right now I'm just going to breathe and I'm going to hum. And you might go, yeah, but that's embarrassing. People are going to look at me like I'm a weirdo.
It
Most
could
people,
attract some unwanted attention slightly.
it might, but it so seldom does. Most people got their fucking headphones in anyway.
True.
They're not.
To be fair, yeah, I do. I would just walk right by you like that crazy growling lady. Busy.
And but it's also the hum you can do really gently, right? You can a gentle hum to yourself, and the joy of the voice vibration sounding process. And I got some of my people who were doing the proof of concept study to check this for me. And remember, they were using it for chronic pain that they've been suffering for years. You can do it in your head. So you can make the sound as loud as you like in your head. So if you really need to growl in Aldi and go, "Rah, you're all just fuckers," you can
Shopping.
do it in your head.
Right, so does that basically just bring you back to centre? You're like, I'm having crazy thoughts.
Just let it
I'm
out
in
a bit.
Aldi. I'm having crazy thoughts. Hold on, I'm going to fucking centre myself, breathe, hum, growl in my head, and that just brings you back to the human.
Because it allows an outlet.
Yes.
It allows you to acknowledge what you're feeling without judging what you're feeling.
Yes.
It allows you to be present with yourself and go, okay, this is my current state. Let my human self express that, because this is part of the problem is we feel like we're not allowed to express so much of our stuff. We're not allowed to
Yeah, I
express
would agree with that.
whether that's, and some people feel like they're not allowed to express their love. One of my clients, one of the hardest things she had to process was the fact that she had never told her mum, I love you, because in their family, I love you weren't words that were used.
Wow. So
And
then that
so,
was a struggle.
yeah, so, to be able to express love equaled weakness, right? So it was a thing that never went said in their family. So for her, that was the thing that needed expressing to help release the pent up stuff in her energy vibration and to say the words. And especially, we're a week away from Valentine's Day,
Yes.
which, actually has changed its meaning completely, because Valentine's Day used to be about the day where you would tell someone who didn't know that you loved them, that you'd send them
Okay, I will do that too.
an anonymous Valentine, right? So it's
Uh-huh.
like, oh my God, you're the most amazing person in the world.
Yeah, now
Not,
it's for Instagram
and now,
pictures.
yeah. And
Boy
it's
did
like,
good.
yeah, and now it's
That
like
shit.
telling people in you who you've been with for 20 years, oh, be my Valentine, which is nice, right? It's a way of reaffirming the love. So everything changes. So World Sound Healing Day was chosen by Jonathan Goldman to go on Valentine's Day to put the energy of love into yourself and out to the world. So the world as in the planet, to the
Mm-hmm.
plants, trees and the earth, and the world as in nations that are going through upheaval, and for self. And this concept of self-love, of loving yourself, isn't just, giving yourself a bubble bath once a week.
Yes.
It's, for me, and I'm actually running a retreat this year called Sounds Like Self-Love in collaboration with another lady. 7 days in Barbados. Oh,
Oh
yes.
my god. No one. I would love my fucking self in Barbados. Fuck's
Exactly.
sake.
Um, and we're creating our own membership around it. But the
Uh-huh.
premise is that for us, we're like, no, the best self-love you can give yourself is deep self-awareness, to know your patterns, to know the things that trigger you, that to know yourself so deeply that you know if you're going to step away from that higher self version of you.
Mm-hmm.
The closer I am to the higher version of me, my higher self is awesome, right? She's amazing. She's
Mm-hmm.
glorious. And she has no qualms about anything, taking up space, stepping back, being gentle, being big and being loud. But there's no energy of lack about your higher self. And there's no triggering. Your higher self is always like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand why I'm doing that. So now I'm going to change my pattern.
Okay.
And so the biggest self-love you can give yourself is deep, deep, deep self-awareness, knowing your patterns, knowing the things that mean you're going to either behave in a way that you know is further down the line going to cause difficulty for you, or knowing the patterns that mean you're not going to follow through on something that's really true for you and might be really good for you. I just spoke about this in my midweek mindset earlier
Like that
about,
self-sabotaging.
yeah. So
That's
allowing
a big
yourself
one.
to know what gets in the way. So if you know something's true for you, you're connected to your intuition, which does take time to get to know and listen to. And you're like, right, this is true for me. I'm going to do this. So I'll use an example of last night. There was a networking event that I knew was true for me. I know the person who runs it. I completely trust him. The group was like with another group that he does, and I'm not sure about that stuff. I'm always a little bit cautious of things like that have like a massive following. Um, but then oh, is it going to be a little bit culty? Is it going to be a little bit cliquey? So there were those concerns, but I was like, no, this is true for me. But last night was cold and it was damp and a bit rainy and drizzly. And I was on my way there and I sent him a message going, is there going to be food? Because I know I'm going to be hungry and I don't want to get hangry.
Okay. I mean, that's just knowing yourself.
And that's my self-love, right? That's knowing myself. I know that if I go to this event and I don't go and get like, is there going to be food? And then he didn't respond. And I knew I needed food because I started getting antsy because he hadn't responded. Oh, okay. Well, I definitely. But I could have let any of those things be an excuse. I call them a rexcuse, right? People call them a reason, but really it's an excuse. I could have used it as a reason for not going. It's cold, it's wet, I don't
Yeah.
know I'm not sure about the energy of the group. Actually, there's not going to be food, and it's 6:30 to 9:30 p.m., and I'm going to need to eat in the middle, and there's not going to be proper
Yeah, I
food.
wouldn't have went either. It's a big
But I
risk.
could have chosen, but I knew it was true for me. So
And what's
rather than,
that
and
food?
I know those, and I know my patterns, right? So steep self-awareness. So I was like, right, you know what? I'm going to go because I know it's true, and I have to listen to my intuition. And on the way, I'm going to stop at Sainsbury's and buy some food. So I'll just eat when I'm hungry when I'm there.
Fine. And that's self-love. Not a
And
bubble
that,
bath, not a face mask, that. And in the group, we've been doing shadow work. I know you like that. And that's self-love, isn't it? A lot of people are like scared of it, oh God. But I actually love to find out all the stuff about myself.
get deep, because in doing the shadow work, you can release a lot of the shadow, because a lot of our shadow
Yes.
stuff, is ancestral, it's not ours. So get to know it, say, thank you very much for helping me become who I am today, but now you can go.
Yes.
And then the other part of shadow work is, okay, well, that's part of my shadow. So I embrace it and I know it and I know the whole of me and I know what this stuff is.
And that's your higher self.
And that's your higher self.
But can you only really get to the higher self if you do know the shadows, the shadow part of you? Was that a good question?
Question. Juicy question. Yeah, I think fully and completely. Because
Yeah.
your higher self is fully aware of your shadow and doesn't pay it any mind, right? And still loves and embraces it, and also does not hold on to any shame about it. Your higher self does not hold on to any fear about your shadow. So my shadow, my deepest shadow, is vulnerability. My deepest shadow is showing that I care. Like, because
Is
if
it?
yeah, I believe so. It used to be like I've become so friendly with it
Okay.
that now, again, this is the part of the deep self-love, knowing yourself really deeply to set up the structures, the tools, the techniques that work to help you embrace the whole of you, right?
Yes.
Money is your whole voice because it's the wholeness of you. So that as much as, yeah, I'm aware, my biggest shadow is my fear that I'm not wanted. I have a
So,
massive I'm not wanted belief.
so like not feeling worthy, you feeling
Not
like you're.
feeling, yeah, not just not wanted, the outsider, um, superfluous. When I was suicidal, the word was, I knew I was loved, but I felt superfluous.
And so, did you know this for? Did it take you a long time to work that out? And was that manifesting in behaviours of, obviously you've said about like kind of suicidal
Yeah,
and just not self love, basically.
self-sabotaging, so not doing the things that I knew were good for me, like drinking way too much alcohol for a long time, um, not not pursuing things fully, but even the simple things like the self sabotage could have come in last night because I'm at a brink of real expansion, real
So
expansion.
the next level.
The next level. I've just done a workshop for the Bank of England. I'm in talks with the military about taking voice vibration sound healing into the
So you
military.
need to move that dial.
I need to. So that this event last night was so interesting. It was so true to me, and there were so many little things going. Oh, can I be bothered? And I tapped my Oyster card to pay, and I was like, oh, I bet like it's better be happening because he hasn't got back to me, and da 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 da. Or maybe I'll just turn around and go home. All these things are like, no, Judith, it's true, and it's that. This is the stuff putting yourself back on the path. That's the true path. I went last night. There's a man there who isn't a part of the normal group. He came as a friend of someone else. He has 11 million followers on Facebook alone, let
Uh
alone
huh.
his LinkedIn and everything else. He runs this school in Pakistan where they provide all the children with things that they just couldn't afford, like a laptop. Um, and they don't have structured normal lessons. They learn using AI, converting things, translating things
Wow.
into. They learn English. It's this incredible vision that he has. And he was there and he heard me sounding on someone and he was like, you, I need to talk to you. What's this? So we had a chat and he did a little in on the moment interview with me, da 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 da. And then he's like, I want to experience the sounding. What is the sounding? So I did that. And he said, have you got any tips you could share with my students? He said, I see so many people there. They're too afraid to share their voice. They don't like sharing their voice. They don't like the sound of their voice, or we live in a society that doesn't allow them to have a voice. Do you have any exercises you can share with me right now that will help people become more confident and comfortable with their voice? So I did a little video for him right in that moment of breath, hum into sound, then playing with sound, which are the four key simple steps to not just actually sound healing, but also to feeling comfortable and confident in your voice. And he's going to share that video on his curriculum with his students, both the physical students in Pakistan
Brilliant.
and the online students that he has. If I hadn't gone to that event last night, so one of my visions, my missions is I choose the end result of sound around the world. Like it's one of my choices.
Mm-hmm.
There are no hows around that. So if you are going through your life with, well, I've got this, but this is how I have to do it, and you're trying to figure out how to do it,
I can be a bit like that.
if you just stick to the true vision, then you open yourself up to possibilities. I would never have been able to say sound around the world is going to look like me showing other people how to do the sounding process in the military. I
Yeah.
would have said sound around the world is 4 simple processes going to a school in Pakistan. If I'd have said, right, I need to get into a school in Pakistan, how do I do that? Right.
Yes, okay, yeah, I'm with you.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to write letters and I have to. No, you just have to follow your intuition and your truth and listen to your higher self and the energy of your true path and not get in your own way and go to that networking meeting that you know is true, even though you've got all these reasons why you feel like you might not want to go that night.
That's unbelievable how that relates to even people's health journeys. So the sabotaging of, I'm going to be a healthy person, I want to be whatever dress size I want to be, but then all of a sudden they're like coming in with these excuses, or and it's like, wow, you just really need to
Yeah.
get that visualization and be that person, and it comes to you, doesn't it? That's what I say a lot, like, can you even visualize yourself being like this? Do you know what I mean? So that's
And
cool that you've said that.
And what is the energy you're creating around it? And sound and voice is
Yes.
energy. You want to sound the energy of that self and make it a higher vibration than, a weight goal or a dress size goal, and have it actually maybe. So my choice when I'm going around the supermarket, which is rare because I mostly shop at the farmer's market, but when I do go to a supermarket, you will hear me saying out loud, I choose the end result of being in vibrant health. I choose the end result of being in vibrant health, right? And that doesn't have limitations to it. It doesn't have a dress size to it or a weight to it. It
Something
does,
bigger for you.
as much as I'm aware that there is a dress size and a weight I don't like being over for my healthiness, but the energy of vibrant health. So I'll be going past the cheese aisle because I love a bit of cheese.
Cold.
I
Biting
choose
it.
the result of being in vibrant health. I go past the chocolate and the biscuit aisle. I choose the end result of being in vibrant health. And by saying it, you're, again, if this is sound healing in its simplest form, you're reinforcing the vibration of vibrant health. You're reinforcing the vibration. So what is your choice? And is it a fear choice, as in, I don't want to be fat? Or is it positive choice, as in, actually, I want to feel vibrantly healthy?
And that's a better mindset.
And it literally shifts your vibration.
It does. I prefer that type of thing. Plus, you know what it's like? People get to the dress size that they said and they're still not happy because they've not done the internal work anyway.
Yeah.
So can we do some chakra healing now? So I don't want to
So,
keep you all night because you'll be here at 10 o'clock. We
I,
won't get rid of Judith, by the way. She's fucking here all night. Honestly.
I will talk for England and Ireland. I blame my Irish father. Did I need to kiss the Blarney Stone? No, I really
No,
didn't.
no.
But I did it anyway. So okay, so your chakras, your energy. So let's go with the heart today, because the heart's where it's at. We're in the love space.
Judith, sorry, before I go on. How do you
Yeah.
know if any chakras are feeling blocked, not good? I feel like some of mine are blocked. I don't know which ones.
Okay. So we can
How,
quickly go through each of them. So
sorry.
let's go through. No, that's all right. Let's actually. Can I share a screen on here?
I don't know. Let's see. I've got my wee chat box up, but I don't have anything else.
Let me see. If I click share screen, will it let me? Yes.
It,
Will it
will
let
it?
me?
This is new.
Is that sharing for you?
Wait, and I'll click it. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah,
Boom. So
okay.
nice and big now.
Yep. So we've
Yes.
got,
Excellent. So hopefully you've got an image of all the different colours and the chakras.
yes, crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, the sacrum, is that on the root?
Sacral, yeah, sacrum,
And then
and
the
the root.
root.
So the root is your basic needs: safety, security, stability, strength. So this is an exercise I do on my retreats, actually, and this is um, you ask that area. So your root is your pelvis, just below your pelvis, and you can place your hands on it and just go, root chakra, how are you?
Root chakra, how are you?
And just wait for the answer. So you need to create space, and it might say, it might not be there, right? It's a practice. Yeah? So we have to get used to talking to our body, but it might say heavy, it might say blocked, it might say expanded, it might say good, it might say, oh, average. When we go deeply into it, you can separate it into safety, how are you? Security, how are you? Stability, how are you? Strength, how are you? Right? And so often when I do that, if I'm doing a check-in, one of them might go tired, and you go, okay, and then you can say, what do you need? So your body will literally talk to you energetically. If you need a little bit of help, each energy center has a sound. So the root chakra is ho on a low tone, ho.
Oh, or
And very often what will happen is if you ask like root chakra, how are you? And then make the sound. So root chakra. You see how my voice is really solid there? It was very clear. It's like, yeah.
yes.
Okay, it's all right. So then you go the same. You say sacral, which is your creativity, passion, purpose. So you know, sacral, how are you? And then you say make the sound for the sacral, which is a little bit higher, and who? Ooh, okay. So you notice how my
I
voice
heard
kind of
a
went.
break. I heard a break in your voice, yeah.
So that's my voice, sound healing, the chakra saying, nah, I'm a little bit wonky. So then if I were going to be doing this, go a little bit deeper into it. I go, okay, so um, what do you need? Or sacral creativity, how are you? Ooh, oh, okay, so my creativity is feeling like I'm creative because it was wobbly. Passion, how are you? Ooh, okay, so my passion's still strong. Purpose, how are you? Ooh, strong. Um, femininity, how are you? Okay, a little bit wonky. So my creativity and my femininity need a little bit of energy work. So this,
Okay.
so this process, you can go through each of these, making the sound, and this process can literally, so you start talking to your chakras and listening. And self-awareness is what is needed here, to take the time to get used to
It's
it.
the body scanning.
The body scanning. And you can just ask yourself, you don't have to do the sounds. As you heard, the sounds give a really, like if your voice wobbles, you know there's something not there. If your voice is just clear and strong, it doesn't have to be loud. It just be clear and feels open. Then you go, oh, okay, then that energy center is fine. Um, so the solar plexus is identity. Work on that one a lot with my clients. That always comes up. The who are you, the labels you're wearing that have been put upon you in life by other people that you've put upon yourself. Allowing yourself to accept your wholeness, the whole of who you are.
I think
The
that's
heart,
hard for people.
it really is. It really is. The heart is love and compassion. We're going to come back to that in a moment. The throat is communication and truth. Now, very often people come, oh, I've got a throat chakra, I can't speak. It's very usually because the root chakra doesn't feel safe. So if you don't feel safe, you can't open your mouth to speak because it's not safe to speak. So it's always connecting to your deepest truth. What do you strongly believe that you need to communicate? Your third eye is your intuition. So your sixth sense, I strongly believe if you don't have an intuitive practice or process, I believe it's your sixth sense. But the quickest way to start building a relationship with your intuition is to know and to listen to your five physical senses.
Okay.
Really start listening, really start feeling, really start seeing, like really start smelling, really start tasting. Because when all of our senses are awake
Being present.
and being present in the moment, and if we make time, you do have to make time and silence for intuition. I mean, unless it's a really strong, powerful one, which can sometimes just hit you out of the blue, right? It's
Okay.
like, don't park your car here. Right? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay, I better move it. Sometimes your intuition will shout at you, but normally you have to make time and space for it. And then your crown, your higher self, your spiritual self,
The big one.
right? Ha, glorious, shimmery. Right? And that is, so those are the chakras. So that
Thank
is
you.
what I work with in the sound healing. Hope that has been helpful.
That has been helpful actually. So we're going to
So,
do the heart chakra
yeah.
once I put you back because you've been toiling with this. Right, okay. So we're on the heart chakra, which this month in the membership's all about self love. It's all that. So everything you spoke about, and I just put your little quote on Instagram. Loved it.
Yay. So, your heart chakra. This is love, forgiveness, and compassion. And we're talking about self love. If we are holding blame towards other people for what they've done to us, I'm not saying people didn't, again, don't spiritual bypass, right? Some people do shitty things to other people. And sometimes we are the victim or the recipient of that shitty stuff. But the longer we are blaming other people for that, the longer we hold on to that pain in our heart. So it's not saying that what they did, some things are inexcusable, right? But how long do you want to keep blaming them rather than allowing yourself to love yourself and to let go and to have compassion? And the same with guilt, especially women. Women, oh, there's so much guilt I hear,
Oh,
and it's so much guilt. So guilt is just blame turned inwards. So when we blame someone, we're doing this, and when we're guilty, we're doing this.
yeah.
So if you want love for yourself, if you want to be in self-love, you need to, forgiveness can be a challenge, right? So, but we need to forgive ourselves. And one of the easiest ways to come to that is by going to the highest vibration of love, which is compassion. And compassion, if we can come to compassion for ourselves and or others, or situation. Sometimes we blame situations, right? Loads of people are out there still blaming COVID. Well, it's COVID's fault that this. How long are you going to hold on to that? Because that vibration keeps that energy. The longer we blame, it keeps that energy in our cells, which means we can't let go of it, which means we'll stay in our patterns that are holding us back. So if you can come to compassion for yourself, for other, or for situation in your heart, this will help shift your energy. So the heart chakra sound, I just invite you first to hum.
Mm,
And just and see where vibrates around your
mm,
heart. What's the tone? What's the sound?
what tone's that? Do you think?
Wherever it is for you.
Does it sound all right?
Sounds fine to me. It's
Mm,
right, and it's different for everyone. My heart sound would have been different this morning to it is now because I'm
okay.
physically more tired. There is no. This is what I love about my sounding process. There's no right or wrong note. It's right
Mm,
or wrong for you in the moment. So if you're feeling the most vibration on then that's where it is for you today.
okay.
Feeling the most vibration on that's where it is for you today.
Mm,
That's why I say
feeling.
just hmm.
Mm,
Right, so you've got the vibration, you've got the physical vibration of it. That's the first step. And if that's enough for some people, because some people are going, oh my God, it's so embarrassing making that humming sound, then that's okay. Just be gentle and gently hum to yourself.
this isn't my first rodeo with you doing this. The first time I
No.
was like, what the fuck are we doing? But now I'm like, I knew I was waiting on this moment.
Okay.
Mm,
It helps a lot of people if you close your eyes because then you take away the visual stimulation. So you can. And
mm,
then just imagine sending a gentle pink and or gentle green light around your heart. Let it
mm,
be gentle with your heart, right? Especially if
mm,
you're holding guilt, if you're holding blame,
mm.
if you're holding heart pain. Just allow yourself this time to be gentle. And then we step into the energy of compassion. Compassion is the understanding that, so if it's about other people, they did the best they could. I know sometimes this is really hard. They did the best they could at the time with the knowledge, skills, and capacity that they had. So it's the people who are just plain horrible people. The reason they attack other people and horrible to other people is because they don't have any capacity within themselves to be able to cope with things on a normal level. They probably have very little compassion in them. Right? So if we can come to an understanding, it's like, you know what, you don't have to come to forgiveness, but if you can come to an understanding that I don't know what you went through that made you that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone is born as a pure, innocent baby. So we have to have gone through stuff to make us
That way.
not people. If your challenge is with a situation, if you're blaming COVID still for something, or you're blaming an old company for making you redundant or whatever it is, it's like, you know what? I don't know what happened to make that happen. And suddenly you can let go of it being something personal towards you, because it's never just one thing. It's
Yeah.
always the structure. And if you're holding guilt for self, this is the biggest compassion, self-love of all. I did the best I could at the time with the knowledge, skills, and capacity I had. I did the best I could
That's a
in
good
that
affirmation.
with the knowledge, skills, and capacity I had. Right? So if parents get this a lot, right? Parent guilt. Oh my God, I was shouted at my child, and I laid into my child, and I feel so guilty because I did la la, and it was just because I was tired. Yeah, you were tired. You did the best you could in that moment with the knowledge, skills, and capacity you had. Right? Some people don't have the emotional education. Some people don't have the intellectual education. Some people don't have the time. Some people are just so exhausted that if, let's take a child analogy, I used to be a nanny, right? A child does something and you've told them to do it 10 times and they do it again and you just lose your shit with them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you feel guilty because they're there crying and you've made them this shivering wreck. You did the best you could in that moment with the knowledge, skills, and capacity you had. Give yourself some compassion and love. So we're going to sound this compassion and love to the world, to yourself, for yourself, on ha. So if you're feeling brave, you can open that hum.
Ha. Nope, not yet.
Ah. If you want, you can play with the ha. Ha, 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 ha,
That was beautiful. And Judith always goes, "It's not a singing competition," and then she's like that. Ha. And you're like, okay, my hum sounds shit now. She's just an angel, fucking. So it feels like we're in a church, big steeple. And, like
You can also do this. So this is what I get people. If you have, like, if you live with a chronic condition of any kind, you can send love to the part of your body that's in pain. You can send compassion to your higher self. You can send compassion to your soul. So you can really,
I'm
and
really going to do this every day.
it's, and do it for 30 seconds. Wake up in the morning, lie in bed and just go, and send love to yourself. And just before you go to sleep,
I'm going to make a conscious effort to do that and just get a bit more connected back to myself. So busy, and it's just you miss out on that, don't you?
You can do it for 10 seconds and it has an impact. 10 seconds, it will make a difference. Sending yourself love and compassion in that deep self-awareness of I've had a really hectic day and I don't make time for, okay, I can 10 seconds? Yeah. And placing your hand on your heart will help because it then gives your body a physical trigger of coming out of your head into your body.
Yeah, so good. Judith, another amazing masterclass. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I really think you're a great person and I want you to do so well with all the stuff that you've got planned and stuff like that.
Thank you.
And
If anyone wants to join me, it's World Sound Healing Day next Wednesday, the 14th of February. And I'm running a free online half an hour love meditation from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m.
okay,
It's there on my website. You can sign up for it.
I'll get
It's
that
free.
sent out as well.
And that's just on my event page. So come and just, and you don't have to have your video on. You don't have to have your microphone on. No one's going to hear you. You can just receive my sound if you want, if you don't want to sound it yourself.
And I'll post that on my Instagram, get you a few wee things as well. Okay, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Take care. We'll speak soon.
Again.